chat. Like I said, we're we're on the fly here. We're on a hot spot, and I don't have my normal traditional setup, but that's okay. So we have the Dak Prescott trade truth, the Bogus Browns report, and wasted money from a real Cowboys insider. Okay, and no, that insider is not me. I'm just a guy with a microphone and a camera here in Hawaii. All right. I started licking my chops this morning once I saw this report come through, and I couldn't wait to talk about it, write about it, whatever the case. Over on athlonsports.com, we had some behind the scenes deliberation the moment this thing surfaced, and I knew Mike Fisher was going to be all over it in a much more timely manner because he's the true written professional here as far as written sports journalism is concerned. I'm just a spring chicken in that regard, but I knew he would handle it accordingly and touch on all the points and make sure that you guys understood that the biggest reason most Cowboys fans believe that this trade is not going to happen is actually reason number three. Okay, two other very important points here that we got to discuss as far as shooting this stuff down. A report from, as our inside source or insider source, I guess I should say, refers to the Cleveland Laugh Factory. All right, sorry again for the hiccup on the first one with the audio. I hope you guys that were with me originally, it said there was about 130 people in there. A couple people let me know the audio wasn't working. We're running it back, so apologies, but thank you for bearing with me. And here we go. So here you will see. Mic check one more time. Y'all let me know. Make sure we're clear this time. This go around. Chat, help me out. JA a second ago said no audio. Moni Ski said no sound, brother. And then JA also said can't hear you. So I hope that we've rectified that situation now. But like I said, we're going to try to get up in and out of here, shoot down this bogus report, give you guys the facts, the truth, the sports below the surface truth. Once again, if you haven't met me yet, I am Lando from the Lando Show. This is Sports Below the Surface. It's what we do. We write over at cowboyscountry.com, and we are all over the social media streets otherwise at the Lando Show here on YouTube and everywhere else. Z Money says, sounds good. Okay, let's roll. Athlon Sports. Article by Tony Fisher, son of Cowboys insider Mike Fisher, who we will be referring to. Cowboys trade of Dak Prescott rumor destroyed by insider for three reasons. And this is critical. I was so glad that Mike touched on this. I knew that he would. The no trade clause, guys, that is actually not that wouldn't preclude this deal from happening. Okay. All over Twitter, when I initially said, the 3-2-1 countdown, like, let's freaking blow this report up. This is ridiculous. It must be we're just like, I guess it's that time of the year, right? When it's kind of a lull between combine and draft, and there's not much to talk about. So people got to fabricate reports, use the Dallas Cowboys and particularly their star player, one of the most polarizing players in all of sports, you might say, under arguably the largest microscope in all of sports. That'll get you clicks. That'll get you views. Here we are, the Lando Show, talking about some guy I've never heard of. Okay, not to say that he isn't good at what he does. Maybe he is, but just in this particular case, he's wrong. I will also pull up the video that I'm referring to here, as it's included in Tony Fisher's article. From JPA Football, the Browns are trying to trade for Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott. And the source, the Cleveland source, we should say, from the Cleveland Laugh Factory, as Fish puts it, is, what's his name? Drennan. Bruce Drennan. So that's who we're referring to here. And I don't want to get copyright banged on YouTube. So I'm just gonna play maybe 10 seconds of this and hope that it passes. But just to make sure we're all on the same page on who is saying what and why we're making this video in the first place. Ready? I'm sure you do, but Okay. So y'all can go watch that if you're interested. Like I said, I'm trying to avoid the copyright strike here. So we'll go ahead and scroll past that. And this is from Bonus Time with Bruce Strennan. Don't know a whole lot about him other than this particular report here that has surfaced is inaccurate. So let's debunk it. Let's get up out of here because I'm trying to get back to the beach with my family. All right. Most people, though, below that, and whenever I commented and said that I was going to address this, were specifically listing reason number 3 for why this ain't going to happen. That's Dak's no trade clause. Okay. Hypothetically speaking, Dak could waive that if Cleveland were a destination, an ideal destination for him. If he thought that that would be a place that he would like to continue his career, he could waive it. Okay, disregarding all the other impossibilities, dang near. Right, it could happen for that reason alone. If Dak really truly wanted to end up in Cleveland, he could say, "Sure, waive that clause. That'll work. I'll select that destination. Let's go." He could. Okay, but that's reason number 3. All right, now let's get to reason number 1 and 2. Let's make sure we all understand this, okay? Tony writes, any breakup that would come before really 2 years from now, because remember, the Cowboys restructured Dak's contract. They deferred money to the future, void years, dead money, okay? Cap gymnastics. The salary cap is a myth. Or at least cap hell is a myth. The cap is real in the future. It's fake today, okay? All these things that we've discussed. CowboysCountry.com, my YouTube channel. You can find it all. Restructures, dead money. They cannot trade Dak Prescott now. It would be a crippling, once again, to the wasted money quotation in the title. $128 million in dead money for the Cowboys if they were to trade Dak Prescott. $148 million. Okay, and here's the direct quote from Fish. First, a Prescott trade would create a dead money problem totaling $148 million in dead money. Just splashed my laptop over here. Good grief. That's the number one reason why this ain't gonna happen. Okay, screw the no trade clause for right now. There's still one more big reason too, but the first and the largest factor here is not the no trade clause. It's $148 million in dead money the Cowboys would incur if they moved from Dak Prescott right now. They're locked in. They were already locked in to a 4-year marriage, but now they're really locked into 2. They can't trade him until after 2 years. Dak Prescott haters, I'm sorry to report this news to you. It's dang near impossible. Maybe next year, if they wanted to eat, they could post June 1 him if all else fails and if crap hit the fan. And just say, you know what? We don't have a quarterback anymore. Let's just cut the cord. Sure. We'll suffer for 1 season, then we'll reset the books again just like they did last year, and then we'll start again 2027. Here we come. A Prescott trade would create a dead money problem totaling $148 million in dead money. Not going to happen. All right, point number 2. Actually, you know what? Because let's just lump that into number 1. I want to separate. Reason number 3 is kind of tied into 2. So Dak hypothetically waiving the clause. He's not thinking for himself anymore. Okay, he's thinking for his family, for his daughter, and I believe they're expecting their second child now, if I'm not mistaken. So Dak doesn't want to be anywhere else. And even if he did, we're talking about uprooting his entire family, not just himself. Okay. So that's technically reason number two. But lumped into reason number one, as Fish notes here, second, the Browns' present effective cap space is $10 million. So they couldn't do it, even if they wanted to. Now, that's mostly true. They could actually make that money work if they really wanted to, because once again, as Mike knows, as I well know, and as 75,000 the Lando Show supporters and counting also know, is that what I just alluded to earlier. The salary cap today is fake. You can gymnastics your way via accounting principles to making the money fit however you want it to right now. If you're willing to defer dead money into the future, which is once again the whole point of this video, because that's what the Cowboys did with Dak, which is why they can't trade him in the first place. They're locked in now for 2 years, really. Okay, now I guess we should also let's touch on the premise, the just the team building things without all the intricate nuances and details of contracts and other things like that, personal matters, actually kind of makes some sense because and Bruce did a good job. I don't know if he drew this up or if his quote unquote source is actually being accurate. If they're working together on this, just trying to fabricate headlines, I don't know. He claims to have sources, so let's just take that at face value, okay? Maybe that source said, Cowboys are desperate for a corner, which they are. We're desperate for a quarterback, which the Cleveland Browns clearly are. Let's just go ahead and include Gavin Newsom. The Cowboys get a starting outside corner. I don't know if the number 2 pick would be negotiated into that, so a pick swap of 2 to 12 potentially. The Browns get their quarterback because even amidst the draft being a month away, the quarterback piece, the stability, the answer that would be Dak Prescott here, right? In this case, where you're eliminating guesswork, you're getting a proven veteran product that is a quality competitor that that you can win with, that isn't going to be the number one reason that you got that position solved, okay? That still is more valuable than the number 2 overall draft pick. Even if whoever you want to take or put into that slot and select for the Browns. Because no matter what we think about Travis Hunter, no matter what we think about Abdul Carter, no matter what we think about Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, name your player, whoever you think is most likely to be that selection for them at 2, there's still a non-guarantee. You can't get inside the mind of an athlete. However perfect they are as a prospect physically and on film, you don't know how much they love football. You don't know how well they're going to prepare, how much they're going to take care of their bodies. So you can't predict the future. Dak Prescott is proven, and it's the most important position. So that's the biggest piece here. So 2, the 2025 second overall pick is less valuable than Dak Prescott is. Because that's stability at the most important position in all of sports already. There's no guesswork. You know what you got. You got a Walter Payton Man of the Year candidate, a team captain, and a proven competitor, a guy that loves the sport and that's notoriously one of the most well-prepared at playing the position as far as pre-snap goes. Ask Peyton Manning, ask Aaron Rodgers, ask people who study the film, who know what they're talking about. And I'm not referring to myself. I try to do those things, okay? But don't take it from me. You don't know me yet. You're going to know me more and more as we continue along this journey. But the people that watch the film, that know people who know people, and that are actually plugged in, paying attention, they know what Dak is. So Bruce, back to the point, Bruce's the premise around the team building philosophy here. It makes sense. It would be an even. You could make 12 swapping ones, so 2nd to 12 for the Browns and Dak Prescott. The Cowboys get pick 2, Gavin Newsom, and then maybe another day 3 or 2, whatever. Just make assort it however you want, whatever makes most sense, whatever is palatable. Okay, that works in your head theoretically, but it eliminates the reality of the financial situation, of who Dak Prescott is, of the impact that he has in the Dallas community, the family that he's built here. Okay, but family to him is probably number 1, or obviously it is. But the financials, that's number 1 for why this ain't happening. for us, because we can't speculate how Dak feels about his moving his family or all that stuff, right? But we can look. We know what the numbers say, and the numbers say, ain't happening. All right, that's pretty much it. I mean, I think I've made my point. I hope you guys understand. In closing, just to citing the source correctly and appropriately once again, I'm working under the assumption Fish says that this is some sort of a comedy bit from the Cleveland Laugh Factory or something. Who knows what Bruce heard, who he heard it from, and if it was an honest report or if it was fabricated. We don't know for sure. But what we do know is that however accurate the team building philosophy may be, whatever this bogus claim is, the foundation of it is, it fails to recognize or at least acknowledge the first and second biggest hurdles prior to even getting to number three, which most Cowboys fans are already well aware of, is that Dak Prescott does indeed have a no trade clause built into his contract, but he can waive it. So that's not even that wouldn't preclude that in and of itself wouldn't make this deal impossible. But it is the cherry on top. For sure. And I hope that makes sense. That's all I've got for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button, okay? And make sure that you're following me along on Twitter, because I try to check 4, 5, sometimes 6 times a day. Just if I have a few moments, I'll check my mentions, answer questions, and I love learning, building the community, answering your guys' thought-provoking questions that help me do my job better. Y'all keep me in the loop, in the know. So like sometimes it's hard. I sent 2 of my really good friends, and shout out to Anderson Livingston and Clay Hickman. If you're watching this, I genuinely meant it when I said it to them. You guys are critical for my continued growth, because sometimes it's very hard for me to separate. Like, I don't know how, because I'm sports below the surface guy, right? So I get deep. So sometimes I miss a lot of the stuff that needs to be addressed surface level too. So I need your help. And that's not an indictment by any stretch. It's just that the way that my brain works, sometimes what's understood for me isn't necessarily understood for the common fan. And I want to help the common fan understand the realities of things like this, and team building, roster building, um, cap management, draft analysis, all this stuff, right? I want to help you guys I want to make it more palatable for you. So the way that you help me do that better, to make sure that I'm not missing some things that I could, that would be a very good target to help the masses, right? Things like that I know that I talk about, that I do a good job of covering, is, helping fans understand the salary cap, right? It's very easy to get lost in all the numbers, but all you have to know is that the numbers don't matter, because you can make the money work just by simple accounting. It's an accounting principle, guys. That's what the Eagles are doing right now. That's the surface level context for you. Okay, just look at Howie Roseman, what he's doing. You help me. I said to Andy and to Clay, I need your guys' help. Y'all got to just check me. If there's something that you see, that you come across, I'm also raising 2 kids, building 2 small businesses. So I miss things. Your questions help me stay locked in. So the best way that you can do that is tag me directly on Twitter. I won't answer every question, but I'll do the best so that I can to read them and answer as many as I possibly can. Same thing on YouTube. Okay? You guys help me. Help me, help you. And we will continue growing this thing. Once again, 75,000 strong. Make sure you're following. Hit the like button for me. And if you really want to help me out as well, if you've already done those 2 things, the next best way to help me out is to share this with one friend. That's it. Okay, remember, prayer changes things, and the war is already won. I love you guys, and I'll talk to y'all soon.